All right, and we're live. Five, four, three, two, one. You know the deal. Go to latenightparents.com. Ways to follow the podcast and everything else, all the social channels. We got Tony D and we got
Word, what's up?
Brian TX
Hello.
or Thylander B underscore 80
Facts.
in the building. This episode, nothing as it seems. Want to get on with you gentlemen. We'll be doing this much more often. You know, I know a lot of people still reeling from Haps.tv or Haps.go and the like, announcing that they were going away, and people just kind of, I mean, I know you guys don't watch The Wire, but this reminds me of season 3 of The Wire when the towers fell and everyone is scrambling everywhere, not knowing what to do. That's what it kind of resembles, because you got some people that you might talk to, some people that you might not often talk to. Everyone's conversing and everyone's trying to find out who's going where.
Yep.
So, gentlemen, what's been your assessment since the big announcement?
Well, I mean, I just wish it wouldn't. I mean, that they hit it on the money on the beta version, but I understand it's a business. Um, I mean, didn't have to go that way if they just would have stuck to their guns, but it is a business. Um, I mean, now in this day of age, I mean, like there's easy places to go for live streaming because everybody's getting on the podcast wagon, so they're going to find other alternatives. So, I mean, I'm taking it as the same news with Periscope going down, Blab going down, and so it's just kind of like, all right, on to the next. The way I feel about it,
So is this something that just happens every few years? We
something
kind of
like that,
cycle through.
like 2 to 3 years, yeah. Because what they do, they want to analyze the pros and cons. You know, mainly a lot of people do business stuff on here. Other people do Hangout.
To me, man, I've seen this before. I've hated it every time. Periscope folks, this is what they complained about happened to them. Haps.tv folks, this is what they complain happened to them. So now it's the Haps.co time. Personally, for me, I remember when Haps.tv and Haps.co was running, and people were mad about not being able to see Haps.co because we was on the .tv side. Then the .tv side shut down, and what happened? We was on the .co side. I'm thinking what's going to happen then. I mean, what happened back then is going to happen again. But as far as the other avenues, I have looked at the other apps. We were already connected with YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram too, if you will. We should have all been linked up with those. So anywhere else that we could have gone shouldn't have been an issue, but it became one because somebody didn't like one or another or two of them or three of them, and it became a damn headache as far as us trying to go somewhere as a community. But there are a ton of options. We're trying to find. I personally am looking for something free, video conferencing, and multi-broadcasting, just as Haps was set up. This is looking like one of the better options. So big ups to StreamYard for having themselves together. And big ups to everybody for putting us onto it and the door being open for us to continue what we're doing regardless. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So I got this morning when I woke up, got a text message from Richard Roberts, someone who we definitely look up to. I used to enjoy his broadcast. Would be around 5:30 Eastern time every morning. Would be about 30 minutes. So
Yes.
you knew what you would expect. He had segments in his 30-minute audio/video broadcast. He would always talk about, the weather. He would always talk about what's for dinner. He would always talk about, what's happening today. And I loved watching it. It was a regular broadcast, and it was a few regulars. um, you know, things happen. The platform changed. Richard stopped broadcasting on there. So I was trying to catch up with him. It got to the point where a couple of times I reached out to him on Twitter. So he tagged me today in a message about another app called Get Vocal or Vocal. I went on, logged in, first time ever, subscribed, joined his broadcast today. It was a little quirky because even though we were connected, he couldn't hear me, but I could hear him. But for the replays, it was fine. So there's a lot of applications out there that are duplicating the efforts that were done by, Haps.co or Haps.tv. And of course, with Periscope and Lab and everything else. It's just unfortunate that these communities keep shifting.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what is problematic, because the community is fractured. Half of them go to this tool, the other half go to that other tool. People are just out there, and it takes a little while for them to come back.
Yes.
So, along with that, we'll see how this happens, because I'm sure that, over the next 2 weeks, I'm happy to hear that people are able to get paid out. They're being paid out quickly.
Regardless of the amount. Regardless of the amount, yes.
Regardless of the amount.
That's very key.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's very key. And we also have people willing to give their coins to people who need it. So
yeah.
I'll be doing a couple of broadcasts on that. I'm going to be focusing that for the rest of the week myself.
It's good.
These coins, and whoever's trying to get to the 200. What I want to do is make it to the $200 mark. People can give to people until they reach the 200. I'm always going to throw Sadie in the mix. I'm always going to throw Eleanor in the mix. Class is working on his stuff. So anybody else afterwards, we need to keep each other in the loop for that. I've got a couple people willing to give a decent amount. They can cash out. Well, I ain't gonna say they can cash out, but they can help some people out. Because like I remember, it's penny for coin. Yeah, it's penny for coin. So it's not enough to cash anybody out. People have helped me. I'll be damned if I'm not going to help them.
Of course.
Right.
Of course. So funny because I had been on the phone with True Armor.
Yeah.
And True Armor isn't tech savvy, not the slightest. And we were just going back and forth over, the 200 amount. And it was like Thursday evening. I was on the phone with him. And he was like, I'm $20 away. So I had donated the rest of my coins that I had. So he was like $9 away or whatever like that. And I said, dude, you can get $9. Just go up there and go rant and you'll be good.
Yeah.
But from that, he's even able to cash out. So I'm happy about that. I don't know. We'll see. The next 2 weeks should be interesting. For the most part, I don't think I'll be doing any new broadcasts on Haps. But if you guys are up there, I'll definitely join you guys.
All right.
That's kind of. There's no ill will or anything like that.
You're a busy man. You was barely up there in the first place, so you're a busy man. It's just gonna mean you'll be up there a lot less. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but how the whole genesis of this thing was, I jumped up there once a week.
Yeah.
I tried to step it up to 2 to 3 times a week. By the time I connected with you and saw how often you were on there, I said, oh man, I got to jump on this a little bit more often.
No, you got to have the time to do it. And if you're traveling, I don't blame you for being focused on your travels. Me, I had a lot of sit-down time, especially over the past couple of months. I've had a lot of sit-down time due to me being sick. I could take the heat for all that. I see the chats with y'all up there. I'll be sitting here laughing at myself, watching these jokers. And then, Brian starts turning. I got to figure out a reporter to correlate him with. I don't know if he's Roger Grimsey, John Johnson, Chet Scarborough.
Yes.
But he starts doing his thing up there, and I'm like, no, let me sit back because he got clips for days. So, but any of the shows we got out there, man, we can keep going. We're just trying to see what we can do with.
Yeah.
And
with the
the main thing,
same audience.
The main thing is, I hope people use this tool as they should have. This was always an aggregator. I always saw this as an aggregator. I don't know. I might not have mentioned this to Brian, but I know I mentioned this to Tony, that I always saw this as a tool, as, a restreamer to get you to hear that they're there. And really not as much as for a repository. If you use it as a repository, you are scrambling right now. Because in 2 weeks, your entire profile is going to be poof, gone. So, all right, we talked that till we're blue in the face. The real reason we were jumping on here, Brian would share this video with me. I wanted to share it with you or potentially JoJo, and we could provide our insight on it.
Sure.
Because the thing is about the video is, I know what Brian is trying to do.
Oh, Lord.
He's trying to get me in trouble. And
How?
trying to get me to order. He's trying to get me to order a third grill and get cussed out in the process.
You could consolidate into one.
Right. It's just like one of those grills would have to go. One of them
You can hand it, or teach your son how to cook it and have your son own one. It's a rite of passage.
So we go into share. We go into screen. Go into...
The only thing Tony needs to level up on is how to cook a steak properly.
Well done, steak.
Panel. For those of you new here, my name is Allie DeAndrea, and today we are going to be talking all about why I love my pellet grill, and more specifically, the top 3 reasons why you should consider buying a pellet grill. I will be talking most specifically about my pellet grill, which is the Pit Boss Sportsman 820. I have cooked venison, chicken, beef, salmon, tuna, veggies, you name it. I've probably already cooked it on this thing, and everything has turned out so good. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. First reason why you should buy a pellet grill: it is so easy to use. For my grill, all I have to do to get it going is plug it in, turn it on, put it on smoke, and then let a flame start to ignite in the burn pot. While it's doing that, I keep the lid open and it'll start smoking and smelling delicious. Once I see that flame, I close the lid and then set it to the temperature that I need it to be set at. And this thing fires up quick. There is not a lot of wait time to get the grill up and running at the temp that you need it. And as far as the use of the grill goes, it's very intuitive because you can set it to a number of different temperatures with this easy little dial, and you can plug in your temperature probe and monitor the internal temperature of meats and fish specifically. This brings me to point number 2. A pellet grill is going to make you an amazing cook. And you don't need to be an amazing cook. I have always thought that I was pretty good at cooking, and then I got a pellet grill. Holy crap, I feel like I should open my own restaurant. The main reason is because you've got smoke, which adds flavor. You have temperature control, which means even cooking, and you have a temperature probe. So again, for your meats and fish, you know exactly the temperature that you need to cook it to, and it results in a flawless steak or a flawless fillet of fish every single time. And the third reason why you should buy a pellet grill: these things are packed with feature on feature on feature. My Pit Boss Sportsman has a sear plate, so I can open it up. It allows the flame to have direct access to the food that I'm cooking, which means char. that delicious flavor that comes with a good char is exactly what you need when you're going for flavor. On top of that delicious char, you have the benefit of the smoke, which is what the pellet grill is really all about. But when I don't want that char, I can close the sear plate and just use the smoke for my cooking. My grill also has a removable shelf on the side, which gives me extra prep space. It gives me a place to hang my utensils, but it's removable. So if you need to fit it into a tighter space, maybe you have a limited balcony, you have the option to take it off or leave it on. The hopper window lets you monitor how many pellets are left in your hopper. So if you're grilling, especially for a long period of time, you can always refill, and it's always top of mind because you can see into it. The front shelf on my Pit Boss folds down, which is great for saving space. But when I'm using the grill, I always have it up because it's extra prep space. Another thing that I would like to throw in here, Pit Boss makes an awesome magnetic cutting board. This thing is next level coolness because it sticks right to that front shelf. So for me, it's great. I don't have to worry about knocking things over. I'm a bit of a klutz sometimes, so not having to worry about that is great. There's also a spice rack to keep you organized, a bottle opener for those adult beverages, and one of the things that I love about this particular grill, the wheels on the bottom. It makes it so easy to move around, even on my own. So those are the three main reasons why you should consider buying a pellet grill. It's easy to use, it is going to make you an amazing cook, and they're packed with features on features on features that you want. Two other things that I wanted to add in. As far as grills go, they are relatively easy to clean. All you have to do is vacuum out the ash every so often and remove the grease from the grease bucket. And that is it. I don't think any grill is really pleasurable to clean, but as far as cleaning grills goes, it's pretty easy. Setup was also very easy. So my Pit Boss Sportsman 820 came in a box and I assembled it myself. Everything is laid out so well. Sometimes the instructions that brands send are confusing, but I've had a great experience with my Pit Boss. And that's pretty much it. I can't stress enough how easy it is to use and how good it will make your food taste. And after all, that's what it's all about. As far as Pit Boss goes, they have a lot of really affordable models that are a great value. And again, I love my Sportsman 820. As a hunter, I'm always cooking meat on the grill. So just makes my life so much easier. And
That was a great
All
commercial.
right.
That was a great commercial.
That was a great infomercial.
I don't think Brown was looking at the grill personally. I just want to let y'all know.
Guilty.
Thank you very much. We had the booster club that I'm in on my job. We've raffled off a couple of pellet grills. I've heard very good things about pellet grills over the past year, if you will. Nothing negative. Easy to clean, fast to cook. Everything is real superbly convenient and easily maintainable.
Yeah.
So there's no debate from me on that. Good God have mercy, can you smoke and cook something on those things? A lot of the cooks that I know around, especially the hunters that I know, they highly recommend that pellet grill. They highly recommend it. So nothing negative for me on that. Nothing negative.
Yeah, because I mean, it's basically how much are you willing to spend on it? I mean, you can look around other brands. I mean, you have like Cuisinart makes one, Char Grill. Then you have your Traeger. What Kenny bought was $2,000, and that's a Yoder coming straight from Kansas City.
Right.
Stop.
And then
Time out. The grill he purchased was $2,000.
yeah, because the thing about it with his, it's really heavy because it came in a box but on a pallet, and we had to assemble the base wheels first, then tip the whole contraption over. It is really, really heavy. The plates that they use, it's a certain type of alloy that's how I got when I show you the guys those pictures, like the whole hash marks, how black it is, the sear. Yeah, because it apparently this type of alloy, when the firebox hits it, we could set it like at 400, but then the plate will get like 600 degrees. And then the moment you land it on there, it's like, I mean, it's awesome. But Kenny spent like a whole month researching. He was looking at all the brands, what he was looking for, because what he mainly looked for was the sear. That was like the main thing he cared about. And he looked at others like Masterbuilt. I was looking at Masterbuilt because with the Masterbuilt, it has like the same concept, but instead of pellets, you can use charcoal and wood chunks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just like let gravity do the work.
Yes, that's exactly what it was told to me. Let gravity do the work.
Yeah, so I was looking at that, and then char grill, same idea, but you use charcoal.
Okay.
So it's just mainly what you're looking for. I mean, even Pit Boss has one that's a dual where you have the pellet smoker one end. It's just like a small compartment, and then the next compartment is hooked up to a propane, so you can do your grilling on that.
That's heavy work. Good Lord. You got propane on top of pellets?
No, it's two separate chambers.
But still, same grill.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I was on the phone and someone told me if and when they do it, they're going to go that route.
The propane and the pellets?
Propane, yes, and the pellets.
That's for I would recommend that for family reunions or huge gatherings, because that's a lot of heat and you're going to be burning a lot of your energy, your fuel, your components, everything. So I would save that for a major family or a major gathering, a daily event, because that heat's going to be all day. The minute you get it, it's going to last for a while.
And also too, like the Yoder that Kenny bought, it had like right on the. I mean, when it's got weight on the door, it even has like a weight bar to hold it down. Like it looks like a Master Pit.
Yes.
Master Pit pellet grill. So he's happy with it, very happy. I mean, like he's off every Monday, so every Monday after we get done grilling for the whole week, he babies the shit out of it.
Yes.
But other than that, I mean, it's just mainly look at all the brands. But I don't understand, how would you get in trouble by upgrading to a pellet grill? How would you get in trouble?
How much you spent?
I would get in trouble because it would be looked at as, okay, you've now purchased a third grill. What are we doing?
So what are your other two grills?
The Blackstone. And then I just have a regular Charbroil type gas grill.
Let me help you out, Ted. Brian, Ted's married, and Ted's running out of room. That's how you get in trouble. That's how you get in trouble.
or he could clean both grills up, put it on offer up or let go, get some money out of it, because there's always somebody that wants a grill.
Unless they have sentimental value.
Right. And both of them I purchased.
He's like, damn.
No, both of them I purchased last year.
Oh.
Gotta work.
Both of them I purchased last year. So if it was 5 years in, then I could see.
Okay. All right. Well, what does your dad need a grill?
Next topic, please.
I'm gonna take a picture. I'll take a picture later on and send it to you guys. I bought a tabletop grill also, which I haven't opened.
Like a griddle?
Like a griddle.
Yeah.
Like a Blackstone griddle.
Yes. Because we had a tabletop one. I was cooking like fish and steaks and pork chops.
Right.
Man.
Yeah.
Man.
You know, you have the small propane.
No, I'll just plug it in and the heat goes. A little nonstick.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got a griddle that you just plug in. I've got that. But I've got something else downstairs that, I just didn't say anything. It just arrived, and
He's got a lot of cookware, Brian. Stop trying to make him get something.
I've stashed.
He can't even listen. He can't even make that much food.
So it would be the grill that I have outside, which I'll take a picture of that too.
2 of them.
That would be the one I would get out. But those pellet grills, number one, they're huge.
Well, there are smaller ones.
Okay.
So there are smaller ones. Like you get like a Traeger that's probably 2 feet wide.
Okay.
About 1.5 feet deep. They're smaller ones. You can get those for like $350 depending on where you go. You do have a smaller Pit Boss. They even have the vertical. They have the vertical pellet smoker grills.
Okay.
So if space is an issue, there you go there.
Yes.
Tony, you need to step up too.
But here's another question I have before we hit over the Tony. The price range is what, 300 to whatever?
To whatever.
I've seen
$400
to $500 ones will be worth it.
There'll be some that are $400 to $500. There's some that are $800, some that are $1,000, just depending on what you want.
But does it make sense to get a $300 one? Because will you outgrow something like that, or will you be looking for more features? Will you be, year 2? Would you be like, okay, you know what, I had enough of this one, and I've got to go purchase the $500 one? Does it make more sense to just say, hey, what you should be looking at is one that's $400 to $450 or whatever like that?
Yes.
Okay. To upgrade, I understand, but it's like the iPhones. You only upgrade if you want to, but you can get your money's worth out of it over a few years.
Well, and also too, here's another thing. So a $400 to $500 one for a much bigger one for you, Ted, will be doable because you have a family.
Yes.
Right.
Me, since I'm single and soon to be living by myself, I will get the smaller Traeger.
Gotcha.
Because it's just me. So Tony, same option. He could go with a smaller one.
If I were to throw events, I would get one. I don't throw events. Mainly because I don't like cleaning up behind people. I only say that because I've helped people clean up stuff, and I've watched people come in as a whole fleet, and half of them will help clean up, which I think is ridiculous. I try to help people clean up as I'm there, and that's a big mess. If you get one of those pellet grills, you got to realize you could cook for hours.
Yeah.
Right.
Nonstop. So I would honestly save that for a big gathering. Bring that pellet grill. 1, it's easy to clean. 2, it's fast to cook the food. You got 100 folks and everybody's eating good within an hour. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's where it's worth it at. So for private, I wouldn't recommend it unless you do a lot of grilling and barbecuing, which that's another thing I don't do. I don't do a lot of grilling and barbecuing. I'll cook inside.
Oh, okay.
I'll cook inside because I don't have a reason to go outside and show off everybody that I'm cooking and make the whole neighborhood smell good because I don't want them over here. I'm in the house. I'll crack a window if it's smoky and the dogs get mad at me, not the whole neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But even once a month, don't you just want to like smoke some ribs?
No.
Nice brisket?
No, I'll go buy a brisket. Buc-ee's is down the street.
Brisket sandwiches.
Brisket sandwiches are no joke. If you are in the South or you are in a state where there is a Buc-ee's gas station, save you $10 and go get you a brisket sandwich. You are welcome. Ways to follow the show. LateNightParents.com. Let's go.
I like.
Nice plug. Nice plug in.
The man been looking out for me. I got to return the favor.
Yeah, but overall though, but I think though, like if you wanted to, yeah, because you could consolidate, trim it down to one, or just offer up or whatever. But I mean, you already explained your position.
I explained his position. He had nothing to do with it. I just threw it out.
Yeah, he explained my, he's my attorney also.
Yeah. We try to be each other legal partners. Married men cannot be purchasing, storing, and buying because we've got to hear it from the missus. And since the kids are gone, you have no reason to buy anything more or new for the family.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, because if she called Ted by his full name, like he's gonna be like, man, Hilton Hotel. I'm running away for a week.
There you go. There'll be
yeah.
problems.
Well, what y'all doing this weekend? I think I'll be in town.
Yeah.
I think I'll be in town. I'm heading to Georgia.
Right.
Yeah.
Room's still open. Yeah, let me go vacuum real quick. You good?
Yeah. So yeah, the moment we hear our full name called, we're like, yeah, we're gonna be gone a while. So
yeah,
Morgan sounding real good right now.
I'm like, oh my goodness. Well, that's helpful. Like I said, there's a couple of pictures I do want to take that I will share with you guys, and then you can really, really understand the dilemma. But yeah, I've been hearing nothing but great. Like how I used to hear about the Blackstone, I'm hearing about the Pellet Grill.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean when Milton was doing his live cast, because Milton has the Blackstone as well,
Right?
And he cooks everything on it. So yeah, so I understand. I mean, something's better than nothing. I mean, it's really convenient. I mean, and now like every day's practice. So I mean, like I said, the photo you took earlier, the steak you grilled, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, that's so funny because James and I had the same stove.
Mm-hmm.
James and I had the same stove, so we would just in passing, we were talking about that, the blacktop on it.
Thought you had the same fridge.
Huh?
Thought y'all had the same refrigerator.
We have the same refrigerator,
stove,
and microwave.
Wow. My microwave just died a couple weeks ago. I can't believe it.
Scary. And I noticed that because he was doing a stream. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. And I said, man, we must have caught the same sale. So, but that was the deal. I guess from there, Brian, you sent a screenshot. And the screenshots, of course, I don't have it available. But it was great because it was a picture of AOC.
Oh, yeah.
And picture of AOC and, the Amazon union workers, the unionized workers.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders showed up as well.
Yeah. It's kind of like when a wrestler is over. When a wrestler finally gets over and everyone else is just there, and I mean, they did the impossible.
Bernie and AOC and the unions. That's what Democrats do. Democrats are going to stand up for unions. Pretty much now Republicans stand up for unions.
Well, the only reason why I made an issue about it was because when they were going for that hearing, they made it public about that hearing, and AOC said that she would be there, but she didn't show. But then she came up with some excuse saying, it's conflict of scheduling and security issues.
She's got security issues.
Yeah, no, I know, but when other people were calling her out,
who gonna secure her? You tell them to shut up. Y'all know good and damn well they ain't even won in office. A month after she was in office, they're trying to get her out.
Yeah,
I'm not even trying to put you on blast and say you're wrong. Let's be clear. There isn't anybody who is not a Democrat that supports that woman. Thank you.
but it's just like how fun, like how, to me, I just thought it was funny because on the second go around, because how AOC was getting a lot of heat that she she went ahead and like, yeah, I'm gonna show up, and had Bernie Sanders there as backup, because she could have been honest to say, hey, I apologize, I forgot, or just
Mhm.
conflict of scheduling. She could have said that, but
I'm quite sure she received some threats upon the visit. I'm quite sure there was a couple of security risks on her behalf that were being put in place. I mean, security measures. That woman is not liked by a lot of people. Nothing against what you're saying, but even while I'm down here in Georgia, I hear people talking against her. She's got the same negativity against her that Trump had when he was in office against him. She's pretty much a forerunning Democrat, a big name Democrat, and a target as a Democrat. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, she is also the face of a revolution of government where a lot of the women finally got in office. But if she keep
yeah,
on talking to get there, I would put a whole paycheck before any withdrawals. I'm talking about the gross income paycheck of 2 weeks. That's the reason why she had to get backed out or she had to get some support.
to me, I just felt like she just had a lot of pressure because she forgot
You
on the
think
first
so?
go around. I think so.
Cool.
I think before, I don't know if she forgot or she didn't know if they were going to actually be able to pull it off. Because it was like the leader of the union for the Staten Island location was kind of like, hey, I spoke with her people. We spoke on a couple of occasions. There was, I think, one or two photo ops,
Yes.
and then I don't know.
Yes.
I think not that the wheels fell off the bus, but you know, kind of what happens.
Because a lot of people from independent media was putting a lot of pressure on AOC on Twitter. They're like, "Wow, you didn't have a conflict of scheduling or security issues when you went to the Met Gala."
No, I got you.
So-
Every location is going to be different. Every threat's going to be different. She's a political figure. She's got to be protected. Like I said, she's a big face as a Democrat. I'm willing to bet that's what happened.
I don't take her seriously. I mean, no. I mean, I congratulate her. Like, I watched her Netflix special, Bringing Down the House, or Shaking Down the House, or something like that. I saw the Netflix special. I'm like, okay, cool, that's an accomplishment. All right. And then she started out good, but then somewhere along the midway, like, it's just she's up and down. It's kind of like, wait.
That's the game once you get inside, bro. That's the game once you get inside. They all go in with a purpose, and they all got to change.
So it's like
one thing we're going to see a lot of in politics is people come in with a purpose, but then it's going to get changed. It happened with Trump. It happened with it's happening with Biden. It damn sure happened with Obama. It happened with Bush.
And
all of them. No joke. And they've been.
I think it probably started all with Reagan, because that's when all the corporations started chipping in, like when Reagan was in office.
I kind of got to give you that.
Because Goldman Sachs was like his biggest contributor to his campaign.
There was also a lot of people against what Carter did.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people against what Carter did. So I give you that with the Reagan change. Yes.
Yeah, because Goldman Sachs was the biggest donor to Reagan's campaign.
That's a lot. That's saying a whole lot too. People love that dude.
Yeah.
Our kind of pseudo next to last topic, but it's a two-step process. It's about Netflix. I just want to read this quick passage to you and then get your thoughts on it. Netflix says that roughly 100 million households use shared passwords. For years, it encouraged the practice because the network effect, the more people watching Netflix, had a positive impact on subscriber acquisition. That was then. Now, Netflix is facing headwinds. It's losing subscribers, and share prices are heading in the wrong direction. So, among other things, Netflix is going to try to increase revenue by cracking down on password sharing. Will it work? We don't know. Here's the proposed solution. The plan is to warn account owners who share passwords. They know who you are. They've always have. and then charge a small fee from $2 to $3 a month for each additional household using the account. This approach has already been tested in Peru, Costa Rica, and Chile. Netflix COO Greg Peters said, if you got a sister, let's say that's living in a different city, you want to share Netflix with her, that's great. During the company's earning call, we're not trying to shut down that sharing, but we're going to ask you to pay a bit more to be able to share with her so that she gets the benefit and the value of the service, but we also get the revenue associated with that deal. Gentlemen, what's your take on that?
As far as the cracking down on the sharing, I mean, because like in the broadcaster Patrick Paul David, he talked about it. He said back in 2017 on Twitter, Netflix did a tweet saying sharing is caring, like spread the love. So the only thing, because I think like if you have a relative out of state or in a different country, if there's like a payment arrangement to help cover the bill, which for instance, okay, so I'm a Netflix account holder.
Right.
I have my roommate Kenny. I have his fiance in Colombia.
Ding, ding, ding.
But here's the trade-off. I'm allowing them to be on my account because Kenny's paying for Disney Plus and she's on his and I'm on his Disney Plus. So it's an even trade. Now, for other people, if you're in a different city or a different state or a different country, if there was a way like say, hey, I'm getting charged a little bit more because you're using this, can you help me out? Then if they make a payment arrangement out, I have no problem with that.
See what you got. You share the Netflix, he shares Disney Plus. That's not even an issue. To me, what I'm seeing is Netflix needs everybody to start paying since we gave them the 5-10 year leeway already. That's what I'm seeing more than anything. Because like you said, they've already known this. As long as they weren't losing money, they didn't care. Now that they're losing money, they got to start crunching. None of us should be mad. None of us should have a complaint. None of us should drop our subscription. The only people who are going to drop the subscription, number one, is the people who can't afford it. Number two, the people who weren't trying to pay in the first damn place.
Right.
If you get rid of the scraps, you're good. And this is the business mindset. My stepdaughter uses mine. She was in college. I'm like, hey, you got it. They paying extra. I mean, I got to pay a little bit extra, but that's fine. You in college. Now she's got a job. She's about to be good. I can pull her off. I've got Netflix on more than one device. I've got Netflix on 3 devices. I used to have it on 4. But they're all me. All they'll probably need is verification and they'll let things ride. But I do have more than one profile on my Netflix, which can be an issue. There's a whole lot of complications and a lot of business rules were ignored for subscribers and views, which is where the money was at for a while for the past decade. I understand it. I personally, being that I'm in a position to afford those $2 to $3 a month, I can't say nothing negative. And I know the leeway that I've been granted. No problem.
So I just want to double back to Brian's situation. The family member, the girlfriend that's in Colombia, that's where you as account holder will get dinged. Because all they're doing is looking at the range of IP addresses.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing. There's no magic. There's no lightning in a bottle that they're looking for. They're looking for the range of addresses. They're like, okay, this here are the range from their devices in their home because it's using this specific address. And these addresses might be from their cellular devices while they're out in, when they're commuting or whatever like that. But here's this rogue address that's registering,
But I don't have to worry about it for another 11 days because she's flying in May 6th. Yes. And she's going to be a permanent resident. So it's like, okay, fine.
Oh, so then it's no issue.
It's no issue. But I mean, but beforehand though, like I said, it's an even trade-off because it's like Kenny is Kenny's still paying for her on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it is, I'm not making a fuss out of it because I'm on his Disney Plus, and
Right.
so to me, it's an even trade off.
Right.
And she's cool. I understand that she's very limited where she's at. That's why I'm not fussing about it. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm pulling my dad's profile down because it's pointless now because my dad's like news 24/7. And my sister doesn't live with him. My brother don't. My brother, whenever my brother would visit, my brother would watch Netflix. But I'll just go ahead and pull that account down, so that way I just have it 3 accounts versus 4. But overall, I mean, I mean, I guess it is what it is. But also, too, I think with Netflix's downfall, it's just the content that they're trying to do to appease the masses. If you're in the mood for this, here you go. If you're that, here you go. If you like this type of stuff, here you go. But I think the content that Netflix was coming out had a very negative effect. And I think that's also why they're taking the hit of lots of
Which content is that? I did miss that.
About a few months ago, there was a big issue because there was a movie called Cuties that came out, and pretty much it was
last year. Yeah, that was last year. I remember.
Yeah, like you got 10, 11-year-olds doing like dance,
the cheerleading thing. Yeah,
doing like drill team moves, but in a sexualized manner, and people gave a lot of grief about that.
They did. I know people pulled their subscriptions off of that. This is true.
I didn't even know about this.
Dude, that was maybe 2 years ago now.
Did they pull it down?
They took the movie off. I had a coworker of mine. He disagreed with it because he had a daughter and it was pissing him off. Izzy did a broadcast on it on Periscope and he destroyed it. A lot of people were mad about the movie without even seeing it. They didn't do anything in the movie that was worse than any cheerleading or beauty pageant. But
it's pretty much like sexualizing minors.
It wasn't. That was the story, but it wasn't, because he would ask people. He said, "This is what's going on. Let me show you a pageant. Let me show you this. Now let me show you the movie." And he really did break it down. He broke it down big, and he would always ask people, "Did you see the movie?" They were like, "No." And more people were mad about the movie that did not see it than were people who did see it. It was the advertisement, and it was put in your head. The mental game, I understand fully with everybody. Mentally, if you see that, you don't want nobody thinking about your daughters like that when they out there doing the thing. Right. But when you see it wasn't, there was a lot of negative press against that movie that killed it. An example of what I'm saying is if you saw the movie Gods of Egypt, it was a great movie. But if you saw what they were saying before the movie, they destroyed it. You know what I'm saying?
What was that?
Gods of Egypt was a great movie, but the problem was they were like, why you represent Egypt and not using all black people?
Oh, okay.
That was the kicker. It was a great damn movie, though. God, it was. If you look at that story, oh my Lord. Oh, but that's what happened with that. But the Netflix thing, to me, we've been getting away with a lot of things for years. Letting people get your password. People are notorious for giving people their passwords. Some people's passwords get hacked, and we'll take it. And some people will log on their Netflix in a hotel room and forget to log off.
True.
Thank you. We got a bigger issue to where everybody's correct when no, you don't need to do this. But for those of us who do know what we did do, we shouldn't front. It's like when you got a credit card and you don't pay the bill, but now you want the balance killed. You spent that money. Get the money back.
Valid.
Grow up.
So let's just say Mr. X has an account.
Mm-hmm.
He has 5 profiles. 4 of the profiles are with people or with family members that no longer live with him.
They should be paying.
He's going to have a problem on his hands.
Yeah, if they don't give him his money.
Right.
And that's on them. I mean, if you steal cable, to cut the cable off. What y'all doing?
Yeah.
Let's be real, man. You know what I'm saying? People stop being cheap. I don't know how you want top dollar for everything, but you want to be cheap when you spend. Stop playing.
That's true. That's true.
No, that's like with everything. I mean, I come across people like that. You want that top notch service, but at a very low rate. And like,
right.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody wants to make money, but nobody wants to spend it. Stop playing.
Yeah.
All right. this is Spotify related.
Okay.
We knew it was coming. Higher Ground is the production company is leaving Spotify. Why it makes sense or why I don't know if this has to do with Joe Rogan or this or that or whatever like that, but Spotify pays for exclusivity.
Right.
And we know that's changing. Spotify spent hundreds of millions of dollars paying for exclusive rights for shows like Kim Kardashian, Joe Rogan, Dak Shepard, Alex Cooper, the Obamas.
And Meghan and Prince Harry.
Yes, Meghan and Prince Harry. Their most
No, I'm
valuable.
sorry. He's Harry now. It's Meghan and Harry.
Okay, Meghan and Harry.
Yeah.
The most valuable podcasts never take a break. Ever since Serial changed the world of podcasting, producers tried to replicate its success. But while they may love talking about the latest hot show, the most popular and lucrative podcasts are talk shows that post every week, if not more. Daily and weekly shows, known as Always On, generate consistent listenership that can be sold to advertisers. Limited run shows need to build a new audience from scratch and only run for a couple of months. The creators of Higher Ground are the Obamas, and they're leaving. They're like, we're out of here.
Wow.
So I'd love to be a fly on the wall there for that meeting, because I'm sure Spotify probably paid them $50, $60, $70 million.
Right.
Yeah.
For
I know
audio.
Yeah, because I mean, there's no video of the broadcast like you would see on like Dave Ramsey or Joe Rogan or anything like that.
Right.
Those type of podcasts, but
Right.
yeah, I mean, because they got paid like over $100 million. Or at least as far as I knew, it was like Michelle Obama's podcast. But as far as Barack, from what I understand, he's doing public speaking or doing all these messages at all these colleges and everything, and he's getting paid $400,000 an appearance.
Yeah.
Crazy.
$400,000
We in
for
the
an
wrong
appearance.
business, y'all. We in the wrong business.
Oh yeah, we are.
We in the
We
wrong.
are. But I mean, we're in the right business. We're at the grassroots level. We're just not getting
Can we get above soil? Can we get above soil? Can we get above soil? Let me get 10% of this. You know what I'm saying? I'll shut up.
Well, I mean, with the pellet grill, easy setup, and I mean, because Michelle hires a private cook, and the private cook cooks very, very well on the pellet grill.
All I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, like the girls love it, the boyfriends love it. Yeah, I mean,
wow.
Yeah, the two daughters' boyfriends.
Easy. We don't speak of them.
Oh.
But yeah, so I mean, Obama. I mean, like I said, I'll give credit is due. I mean, Obama is very charismatic and could really get the people motivated.
Wherever he's at, people are going to follow. To lose
Yes.
him is not a good business idea. Do what you can to keep him.
Spotify,
Spotify, I think Joe Rogan, or did they keep him?
No,
he's staying. He's staying, but Joe Rogan said if it gets to a point where he has to constantly every day feel like he's walking on eggshells, then he would leave Spotify because of all the criticisms and people just.
Spotify's catching heat for him. They willing to spend it on him, but they're catching heat for him.
And he's. How do I say this? Joe Rogan doesn't move the needle. He is the needle for Spotify.
Yeah.
So,
And then and then you have other people like like broadcasters that are really becoming popular. Russell Brand.
yeah,
I mean, it's like every week he's gaining like another $100,000 people. Because I mean, last I checked, he's at 5.5. 3 weeks ago, he was barely at 5 million. So I mean, he's like every week he's gaining more and more steam, and so and then because he has a podcast called Under the Skin. I mean, so he has like his podcast Under the Skin, and because that's on Amazon Music, iTunes, and on Spotify.
Right.
And then also too, Russell Brand also is on YouTube. So like he's making his. I mean, people are wanting more genuine reporting, I guess, or an honest opinion, which I do respect that. Which is why when CNN hired a guy to understand like what makes Joe Rogan very appealing, and pretty much his feedback was after over 100 episodes is that people really enjoy the genuine conversation.
They don't have regular. Your news isn't standard.
Yeah. So all walks of life, everybody across the spectrum, they all appreciate a good conversation.
You also need a new aspect on everything that's being told to us. We don't need the same rhetoric.
Yes.
right.
He's providing more than just a standard rhetoric. That's where the money's at.
Yeah.
Fully understood.
Yeah.
Well, you got to think about it. Most of these journalists get a cut sheet and they go, okay, we're going to talk about this topic, this topic, and this topic.
That's regulated conversation. Joe Rogan's not regulating his.
Right. But if you ask that journalist something that's not on that cut sheet for that 2-minute hit piece, they can't answer it. Where this guy, you ask him, he was like, okay, I'll give you my opinion of what I think is the situation there.
Right.
Yeah. And then also too, I don't know if you guys saw it, but Brian Selter of CNN pretty much couldn't answer a question that like they were at a college campus and the topic was disinformation.
Yeah.
And so when this kid asked him a question, a really good solid question, man, he was like the Matrix, like, whoa, wait, I can't answer that. I can't answer that.
But Brian Stelter, you gotta know, like, over the years you see him, you watch the reliable sources, or you listen to his pod and you're like, okay, this guy's full of it.
Right. Like I said,
that's how he is.
Yeah.
Standard conversation doesn't attract people anymore. You got to bring something more. You got to bring something more in depth, more factual, more reliable.
And then also too, like CNN Plus was pretty much DOA.
I
Yeah,
didn't want to talk about that. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, so they like CNN thought like, yeah, we got the public, but then the public like, no, we're done. We already tolerated enough on you on the TV already, but now you want us to pay extra for honest content? Like, no, I mean, to be purely honest, I mean, I was listening to Wolf Blitzer talk to Nancy Pelosi, and I just fell asleep.
On CNN Plus?
No, just on a regular CNN. So if you got guys like Wolf Blitzer, and then you got, I mean, Anderson Cooper is a good questioner, but I mean, we already know where he's very biased.
And he's very rich.
Yeah, but then like I don't know if MSNBC was going to go that route because I mean, didn't you say like Rachel Maddow? Wait, Rachel Maddow is going to be leaving, and then Jen Psaki is going to be on there, and I think and then I think like Tiffany Cross and Joy Reid are going to have their own segment now. I mean,
on what?
On like have their own podcast on MSNBC.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Joy Reid's going to do her own thing soon. I knew that was coming. I was just waiting. She was the controversy on MSNBC for the most part.
Tiffany Cross, I mean, it's kind of funny because she openly admitted, she said, majority of my viewership are white people, but she still bashes white people.
But they're listening. Hell,
I know, but when she said that, we're like, yeah,
Ah,
because everybody else, any other ethnicity, nationality, they don't want, they're like, who are you?
listen, you know what news I like? I like the CBS News app. You know why? It's free.
I like Microsoft Edge because it's free.
It's
Yeah,
free.
I get all my stuff off Microsoft Edge.
Microsoft Edge provides any and everything. I don't think I even limited my news. I just wanted everything in. Apple News is good, but Apple News gets their articles from everywhere else, and that's what everybody's doing. They're getting their articles
Right.
from sources, and they're just consolidating it. I'm
Well,
good with that.
you
I get
got. I
Apple
mean,
News, the Yahoo News, the Microsoft Edge. I got all of them, and they tell you what their source is.
I mean, for finances, the only one I was like listening to on a podcast and on YouTube was Dave Ramsey.
Mm,
You know, and then other people are like, oh, he's a joke, he's a phony. I'm like, then why is he still on the air? Why is, you know, he has a large mass following? And then there was like a guy that was on MSNBC. I think he does like Mad Money. I can't remember
yeah.
his name.
Mad Money,
Jim
yeah.
Cramer. Jim Cramer.
Yeah. I mean,
He's a show.
I watched a little bit of his, but mainly it was like Dave Ramsey because just
He's a show.
yeah.
It's like if he tells you to go left, Brian, you go right.
Hmm.
Because if he's telling you, okay, the horse has already left the barn,
Right.
you know. I told you guys, I like Tech Check. Comes on 11 o'clock Eastern. It's an hour show, and then they repurpose it as a pod. Love the show. Business, technology, tied together. It's remarkable because it doesn't have that left or right edge to
Right.
it. You know, like go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, since you're big on technology, do you follow like on YouTube like Jay's 2 Cents?
I don't follow Jason 2 Cents.
I don't.
Oh, okay, yeah, it was like all like computer hardware, like
Oh, okay.
processors and video cards, memory, and all that. Like
Oh,
he
okay.
does a lot of those tech reviews.
Yeah, it's I watched that. I mean, and I listened to it because you know what, I don't want to speak for America or say most of Americans, but a lot of them are just tired of that whole left and right,
Yes,
and it's just like I don't want to say it's played out, but it is.
It's played out.
it is very played out. It's a tribalism.
Yes.
I think it's redundant. I understand the tribalism, but it's redundant.
Yeah.
The conversation, same topics. You got to wait too long for a specific to come out more than what's commonly stated. And that's been an exhausting factor. That's why some of the other news that's becoming news is headlines because we want to hear something else.
Which is why independent media is on the rise, because a lot of people appreciate independent media because there's no biases there.
There's
You
no control over them yet.
Yeah, because you got people who used to be like Breaking Points, for example. People appreciate Breaking Points because you have Crystal Ball, who used to be an anchor on MSNBC.
Right.
And she got outed because she did a piece on Hillary Clinton and she was very critical of Hillary Clinton. And they pretty much told her, like, management said, hey, if you're going to talk about her, you got to clear through us. So, but because she was very critical, so she got ousted out. So, but she was a reporter for The Hill, which is, and then later on, and then like Saga and Jetty was a White House correspondent, and then so they merged together and they're sharing like the honest opinion. So you have a person who represents the left and a person who represents the right, and then they talk, and 90% of the time they do agree on a lot of things, and people appreciate that.
and they're reasonable, and they're just
Yes.
like. So I there's one political podcast I listen to. Vince and Jason Save the Nation,
Mhm.
and it's the
Oh,
same
never.
premise. It's the same premise. Person from the left, person from the right, and they throw out weekly topics.
Yeah. And then
You
now
know,
like on the Hill, you have since Crystal Sagar left Rising on the Hill. But basically now you have like Ryan Grimm, who is pretty much like the mouthpiece for the left. And then you have Robbie Sav, who's pretty much a libertarian. He's a voice for the libertarian. And then they have guest host Kim Iverson, who's pretty much she denounced being a Democrat, and she's pretty much like politically homeless.
Hey guys, before we start today's
Whoa.
episode,
Independent is not a bad thing.
Independent libertarian is not a
No.
bad thing. But yeah,
Smart.
so but having the three of them whenever they talk about certain topics, I mean, like Kim just goes in the paint, and people mainly a lot of people watch Rising because of Kim Iverson, because they appreciate her honest opinion.
That's what it is. They want to hear the aspect.
I'm gonna say a name, Tony. I don't know if Brian's gonna know this because she's more New York centric. Soledad O'Brien.
Yes.
Great show, independent. Her show, Matter of Fact, and it's carried for someone to be independent. It's carried everywhere.
Because people love her. She was big on CNN. Then she was on Real Sports with Brian Gumble. Now she's got her own thing. People are following her.
Yeah,
It's
because
her half an hour show is carried. I mean, you pull it up and you say, "Oh my goodness."
Yes. She's good with hers.
yeah, I mean, because because one of the main reasons why she left CNN was because they were telling her you're going to talk about this, and she was uncomfortable about it. She's like, no, that's not me. She wants
Right.
to do real journalism. Same thing with Megyn Kelly.
God bless her.
Megyn Kelly,
Yep.
I mean, like she has good numbers on her podcast as well. She has a lot of talks with everybody. Minky Konst, she's so. I mean, she's a lefty.
Yes. She's Sam Cedar. She's on Sam Cedar's show a lot. Am I saying his name correct? I think I'm saying his name correct.
Brianna Joy Gray, she's doing pretty good with her podcast, but the Bad Faith podcast.
Okay.
And then Katie Halper and Matt Taibbi, they have a podcast called The Useful Idiots, and they cover politics left and right.
Matt Taibbi.
Yeah.
Man.
Ain't heard that name in a while.
I know.
Yeah, so Matt Taibbi and Katie Halper, they do the Useful Idiots podcast.
Right.
Is it once a week or is it a couple of days a week or?
I think it's like 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay.
Yeah. So like if you want all kind of political opinions, I mean, yeah, the Convo Couch, Breaking Points, Rising, Bad Faith Podcast, Convo Couch, and then other alternative politically wise, you have Russell Brand, Megyn Kelly, Soledad O'Brien. So I mean, if you want all kinds of information and make up your own conclusion, there you go. I mean,
Yeah,
but a lot of mainstream media is trying to shut down independent media because
because independent media is winning. Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
independent media is winning.
Independent media is winning. Yes.
And you
Mainstream
think about
media mainstream media has been going down since Trump was out of office. Not only did he call them out, it was shown that a lot of what he was saying about them was true.
Yes.
Since Trump was out of office, or
He has become he has come out of office during his presidential tenure. He was calling all the news organizations out. He was telling you which one was real or which one was fake, and they've been following that hard. They really have. They really have.
Yeah, but like talking about Trump every day was like their lifeline.
There was their lifeline. There was
I said to Brian in a private conversation. I said to Brian, I said, yo, people, the reason why the ratings are down so bad is we've been dealing with this since 2015.
Dealing with
Dealing with the oversaturation of these two political presidential candidates with Clinton and Trump.
Yeah.
You know, we went through the whole candidacy, we went through the debates, and then election night, and then immediately went into, you know, following this guy every day, every tweet, everyone getting fired on Twitter,
everybody quitting the Pentagon, working DC, everything.
Yeah.
Everything was following around him. So he was the biggest headline. His presidency was.
right.
Last year, his presidency was becoming exhausted and saturated, which was the change. Now there's
Yeah.
nothing as exciting or enticing to talk about, except to bash Biden.
Yeah, and
I think the two of them. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think the two of them during that candidacy destroyed football, destroyed the NFL. Because they're sitting there and just rambling about it. And I'm like, you know what? I just want to see the football game.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't want this guy, you know, disinviting people to come to the White House. I don't want to see this. I just want to see the game.
Yes.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah. Yeah, because like we when we talked about it before, yeah, I do wholeheartedly. It's like we already have enough things going on in our day-to-day lives, and watching sports is like our escape.
Yes.
And then what was that one reporter that's coming over to ESPN? What's her name? That one.
Girlfriend.
She's coming over to ESPN, and you're like, no, I don't want politics in my sports. I need my escape. You're like, I need my escape, man.
Angela Rye.
Yeah.
Angela Rye is coming over. She's at ESPN, and I'm like, well, wait a minute.
And that was and when ESPN started getting more political now, that's when I just went ahead and turned it off. I'm like, no,
I can't even watch ESPN as much as I used to.
I can't.
I can't
anymore.
I am a big around the horn PTI fan.
Right.
I'm slowing down.
Well, those are cornerstone shows.
Yeah.
Those shows, you know what to expect.
What else can Will Bond and Kornheiser talk about?
They're going to talk about everything, and they're going to do it well.
Around the horn going to knock all them stats out there. I had to give it a break, and I was a big time fan for 19 years.
I was watching. I used to be a big watcher of like Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, but every single day it was either the Lakers.
Can't watch them too.
It was either the Lakers or the Cowboys. It was back
or the
and
Yankees,
forth. I'm like,
or the Yankees and the Red Sox. Yes.
After that, I'm like, I'm done. And then on top of that, it's weird because not seeing Jen there's somebody else now, and it's like, but the thing about it is, it's like ever since the whole COVID deal, it's like the three of them are not at the table anymore. It's just them two, and then the other Jennifer is just sitting in a booth somewhere in the studio. It's like, and I'm kind of questioning, like, wait, are y'all keeping her separated because is she, the whole vaccination deal?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's just, it was either Cowboys, LeBron. After that, I'm like, I'm
Yankees.
done. I can't.
That stuff I can't
like,
watch.
I can't deal with it anymore. But I do enjoy watching Speak for Yourself with Marcellus Wiley and Emmanuel Acho.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
I do like watching them.
Because it's an intelligent show.
Yes.
Okay.
What's wrong? What's wrong with it?
I haven't watched it yet. A lot of negative because of what was the name that was there before? The big guy.
Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock.
Yeah, I can't deal with him.
I watch his show at times.
I can't. I gave him credit in the beginning. I had to leave him alone. I mean, I can't even listen to Stephen A as much anymore. I listened to him for years.
Yeah.
I used to listen to all his shows on satellite radio, everything, every week.
But whenever
it got redundant, honestly.
Yeah, but whenever Jason Whitlock has Delano Squires on there, I'm like, I listen in because Delano Squires is a very, very bright dude, and he like does not pull any punches.
I understand, gentlemen. I'm going because I got to get up in the morning. I got to get up in 3 hours.
Are you familiar with Delano Squires?
Me
Ted?
no.
I've seen him. I've seen him on the show.
Yeah, very, 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 very smart dude.
Yes.
But I will jump down. Are you going? Y'all going to keep going?
Yes, sir.
No, I'm just going to leave it. It's just Brian. What is
wagon? It is a Japanese breed of cow. And then you have Australian Wagyu, which is pretty much one of the Japanese cows interbreeding with an Australian cattle, and you have Australian Wagyu, and same thing over here, which I buy at my store, American Wagyu, where you got a Japanese cattle, one of the Japanese cattle having an entanglement with an Angus cattle, and voila.
Yo, we're gonna shut this down.
Oh, okay.
But best ways to get in contact with you, Tony D, is
Haps.co until it's over. You got a week and a half left. After that, I'll keep you posted. Twitch, Tony Tone 72. I'm over there. Wherever I'm at goes to Twitch. I'm on Twitter. Tony Tone 163. Holla at your boy for real. Appreciate the invite. Good seeing y'all for real as always, man.
Yeah, we'll do this more often. Brian, best ways to get in contact with you.
Snapchat at Thailander_F150. Twitch at Texas _Cataskull. StreamYard at Thailander_B80, and Discord at Thailander713.
All right. And I'm the real Ted Hicks, and we are out.